What's up, man? We back at it again with the Workman podcast. It's been a fucking minute. Let's get to it. Got my boy Christian right here. Got me, Elgin. What's up, bro?
What's popping with you, baby? Cooling, man. It's been a minute. It's been a hot second.
It's been a minute, bro. You know, it's getting around that holiday season, trying to, wrap up things at work, trying to wrap up things with the business, wrap up things in life. You feel me? Family, really going hard with the family, saving up. So, we just had to take a step back for a second, but now we back at it. We get into the new year. So we're here for a special episode right now. So, yeah.
Yep. So what you been going on? What have you had going on so far going towards the end of this year, bro? Like what's some of the things
as far as what?
I guess as far as ventures, you know what I'm saying? How have things since the last time we spoke? How have you been doing with those things?
Honestly, bro, I feel like this year has given me so much clarity on the foundation of like who I am and what I'm striving to be, or like the impact I want to have on the world. Because the theme that I wrote down for the year last year was the foundation. And it's crazy because like I really didn't get that clarity until this month. When I kind of took a step back from everything and really absorbed, like reflected on the year and like my failures, the things that were successful, and like now it's time to double down on like the things that worked, and just put the things that you failed at to the side and just focus on the things that you're good at. Like why force, the things that you're not necessarily talented at, especially in the early stages, when you can just capitalize on the things that you really are, gifted at, So right now, I feel like my main focus is definitely the real estate and definitely just, working, stacking my bread, investing. That's my two main focuses, investing and real estate, because that's really the things that I've been successful at this year. All the things that I failed at was me attempting things that were pretty much outside of my main skill set, It was like me trying to force myself to learn a skill. Like I tried to force myself to learn photography and video editing, and that wasn't really the way, because I'm not like that kind of person that can sit down for a long time and do that. Like I like more interactive stuff, with people and I guess negotiating and like being involved in transactions and stuff like that. So that's the things I want to focus on. What about you, bro?
Man, so it's the same thing, right? So even at the start of the shit, I didn't really. I like how you said that you had like a theme for the year, and I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna steal that one. Going into next year. What is the theme for this year? What do I want to focus on? What is everything that I do want to be centered around, right? And so that's a good thing that you said, foundation, right? So even though you said that was a thing that you already had, me thinking about it for myself, it's like for me, I think this year has also been about foundation. What I'm saying? Just really diving into who I am as a person, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, and just realizing, like you said, what you need to double down on. So for me, it took a while, it took like a year for real. So around this time last year was when I came up with the Dolo apparel idea. And it took a long time before I said, it's at the point where it's not perfect, because nothing's going to be perfect, but I can put it out there and promote it. It's at the stage where then, it can, I can throw it out there and just see, what type of feedback that I get. And it took me a year to do it. And I got a lot of great feedback, like from people that made purchases. And I actually made a lot of sales from my support system. And it's kind of like now I'm seeing the progress, right? As far as people are so focused on the destination, you know what I'm saying? But I realized it's a never-ending process. So just the fact that I got the feedback that I did, it's like now, okay, I can double down on this, because I saw some revenue and with a few sales, and it's like, whoa, if I really like promote this, market and scale it how I need to,
you can see what it can become.
I can see what it become just off of that little bit. And I feel like a lot of people, when they start something like that, like a new venture, they expect a whole bunch in a short amount of time. But because of that foundational work that I did, and I've gone through trial and error already, and I've grown to the person I am right now, I learned how to find value in those sales. Like it was only a few sales, but it's like, okay, people actually bought this that bought this product that I put out, just based off of my essence that I put into it, my effort that I put into it, right?
Right.
And so now I'm like, okay, so if people messing with it like that, now I just gotta learn how to scale it and continuously make it better. So continuous improvement is now the thing with that, right? So as far as Dolo Apparel, man, like I said before, talked a little bit previously, but I'm focusing on scaling it, continuously being creative, like so having those creative ideas continue to flow. Like, what's the next thing I'm going to put out there, right? How am I going to promote it even better next time? What are some deals that I might be able to throw on my website, because I can make deals as I want to. Okay, you can get 2 for 1, right? Or if you got a hoodie and you want to joggers, I can make that like I can do half off if you purchase both. Like if I can do it however I want to. So it's giving me the free realm to create and mold the space that I want and how I want to be, right? So that's something that I'm working on towards the end of this year, especially this break. I'm gonna be off for like a month. I ain't going back to work till like January the 10th. So
you got some time.
so I have time. So now it's that time where it's the end of the year. Now I'm in full reset mode where it's like, okay, let me plan
Full
out.
focus,
Full
planning,
focus.
strategic mode.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I
Right.
feel like this whole end of the year is for. You get those 2 holidays back to back. You get some time away to really get into your thoughts and really figure out like what do I want this year to be? What do I want the vibe of this year to be? What kind of impact I want to make, with my brand, on other people this year. Because like it's hard when you got an idea in your head and then you got to kind of prove it. Like you said, you had the Dolo idea in your head last year. You probably planned it last year around this time whenever you had a lot of time on your hands. But then just the events of the year kind of catch up with you, and like time just starts to fly by once all the holidays pass. So it's just good like to plan and then just immediately execute. That way you can get that proof of concept, early, and then you could build that confidence early in the year that roll you and keep going. So like that's what I want to focus on this year, which I feel like last year I didn't do a good job as, having like action items early in the year that can build that momentum for me to, keep achieving throughout the year. Like I didn't start really acting on stuff to like, middle of the year, as far as like big things that really push the needle, because I was kind of strategizing, overthinking it, like trying to figure it out,
Yeah, I was in that same boat. That's why I didn't launch Dolo like as quick as I could, because it was really because I really had it set up like really like by summertime. Like when I said I wanted to have it set up, but it was like I was overthinking about how like, okay, when I put it out here, okay, what am I gonna do next? How is it gonna work? And it was like,
and then you probably had other ideas too, conflicting with,
right, other ideas, right? It's like, okay, is this the right design that I really want to like to start off with the launch? Like it was a whole rigmarole and stuff. But I'm just glad that I actually went ahead and did it before the year was out, because that was the goal for the year. So I actually did that. You see what I'm saying?
Great.
So now I can build the momentum off of that.
And it probably happened like more subconscious than anything. Like just the fact that you wrote it down in the beginning of the year saying that you wanted to do it. And then, just your brain kind of just started making it happen. Towards the end of the year, your body starts realizing, oh, it's starting to get a little late. Let me tap
exactly, in bro.
Because like you ever been like on the school bus, like riding to school or something, and then like when you getting close to the school, somehow you just wake up. Like nobody woke you up, but like y'all about to pull up to the school, and all of a sudden your body just wake you up. Like that's just how it is when you put something in your subconscious. Your body knows what's going on. Your mind knows what's going on. So yeah, that's why we're gonna take the time today to really write down 3 different types of goals. Like one thing I'm gonna do this year is not write too many goals for each one. So we just gonna do 3. And it's gonna focus on the 3 main, aspects of our life. Like you got your spiritual side, you got your economical side, and then you just have your personal growth side, like learning and expanding your mind. And then, spiritual, that goes into, your faith, your belief, what's going to keep you, motivated in them times where it get tough throughout the year when, bad events happen. Like events going to always happen. Some always going to come up. And then what's going to be that one goal that's going to, increase you financially. That way you can get that freedom that we all want, So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, bro. So
Yeah.
like, what's your well, first let's start off like with a theme for the year, since that's kind of something that we talked about. What you feel like the theme of the year for you is?
I think the theme of the year for me is really gonna just have to be. I want it to be centered around just taking action, right? Because it's like a lot of this
Damn,
year.
that's crazy. You
What
said
show?
that shit.
What showed? What this year showed me was you can have all the greatest plans in the world. You can have all the knowledge you want in the world, but if you don't go and apply it,
Yep.
it's wasted, right? And it's crazy because I started the organization Faith in Action, and it's like, and
Damn.
also, and so that's one thing I want to do as well. I'm going to incorporate. We're not incorporated, right? We're not incorporated yet. So that's what I'm going to do at the top of this year too. I'm going to incorporate and make us a 501(c) and be the head of
Right.
that thing. You feel what I'm saying? So now that's going to
Really
force
get your
me.
documentation in order.
That's going to force me to really like hold myself
Mhm.
accountable. So I think it's really going to be. I want it to be centered around action. You know what I'm saying? Like taking action. Like it's the season of doing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to figure out a word to really just define that. I don't know. I don't want to be redundant with anything because action is just too like basic. Like I want it to be something
Because
like.
it's crazy that you said action, because I was thinking like the theme of this year for me was gonna be focused action or like concentrated action. You know, like not just action as far as like we just doing stuff, because some people be
Right.
moving, be busy, and don't be really getting nothing done. You
Right.
know, but like if you have concentrated action, consistent action, like something like that, like what's a word for like consistent action? You know, like because last year like the theme was the foundation. Like I kind of wanted to be like kind of like a movie title type of thing. So I wanted to be something kind of attractive, something catchy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I think what's going to have to. I want to be around action, but I want to be around discipline too, because the only way you're going to
right,
be able to put it into action is going to be the discipline,
right.
right? Like
Let
I'm
me
trying
see.
to
Let me
think
see if I
about
can
it, bro.
find
We're going
a word.
to really find a word like a synonym or
Right.
something and put it in there with. I'm gonna see. I got you.
Discipline. I mean, I'm about to put in discipline.
Okay, I'll put in like let's see.
Ooh.
Momentum.
Yeah, that's playing into it. That's playing into it. Authority.
Authority. Yeah, authority. What do you mean by authority though? Like, what
Like
is like? Because
just
authority can be looked at like as a different using different
like, cause
concepts.
like you know how like you go out and take action. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you putting authority on this year. Like you know what you want, and you just gonna go get it. You just gonna go make it happen. Like you just gonna like your actions gonna have authority.
Mm.
But
That might have to be.
I'm
It might
just
have to
throwing.
be
I'm
a
just throwing
two-worder
out some.
though. I think
It
it's going to
might
be a
have to be.
two-word. It's going to be a two-worder, bro. Like I think after, because foundation is really like basic. So now you want to take it a step up, right? You know, we're talking about action. It's like you got to use more than one word. I think to really define what we really want to describe this year to be. You feel me? Man, well, that's how you know. Boy, you got to read, boy.
What about powerful action?
Powerful action. Powerful action. I like the word power. I like the word power though. Powerful action, power moves. But everybody use power moves though. That's very like cliche. I like focus though. The focus is the main part though, because you want
Focus
to
is
be
hard too.
focused.
Focus is a hard ass word. I love focus. Focus, because if you ain't got focus, bro, you would never get nothing done. Anything.
Right.
Like if you can't just center your mind for 30 seconds, you can't
Focused
get that
action.
task done.
Focused action.
I like it.
Focused action. Like so, it's not just you just acting and doing stuff. It's you actually being focused with every action that you take. You feel what I'm saying?
Really
And I was
being
again,
present. Really being present. Like
what's really crazy is I was talking to an OG the other day, and he was just sitting there. You know, sometimes you just I was at this little charity event or whatever. He was one of the OGs, and he was just chopping up with me. And a couple of them was talking to me and my homeboy, and he looked. One of them looked at me. He was like, you know, my concern with you is that, you know, with everything you have going on, I'm worried that you may be doing, not necessarily just saying I'm doing too much, but I'm just worried about the weight that you have on your plate and what your
Yeah,
focus is with the weight on
yeah,
your plate. Because guess what? He was like, with the position that you're in a great position. So, you know, you are all the way over here on the West Coast. You know, it's all on you. So he said, like, if you get burnt out or if you have so much on your plate that you can't do anything, you get burnt out. You're no good to anybody.
exactly.
So
Because you can't even outsource your resources because you are the only source of anything moving.
exactly.
You know, like you are the battery that charges everything. You know, you don't have other batteries that's connected to you yet. The whole, you know, point of us having businesses is to, you know, get those connections. But at the start of anything, you have to start with one, you know,
Right.
before anything.
And another OG came in, he was like, you know, on top of that, throw this in there. He was like, you know, everybody is focused on the prize, right? But it's, you have to think about it like this. Are your, you know, what are you really winning? He's like, what are you winning? And I was like, what you mean? And he said, are your efforts that you putting in matching the value of the prize at the end? Because every action that you take in order to get to that goal is going to require some type of sacrifice. So is what you sacrifice throughout that process really worth the prize at the end? And he said that's only based on you as a person, as a man, because you place your value on that goal, on that prize. So he was just like, and if you know that, then whatever value you place on that thing, right? Now you have to focus on the process. What is your value in the process? You see what I'm saying? What is your value? What is your value there? And within that, when you add value with this value that you're putting on this thing, right? Now you have to take that value that you want to have, and now you have to look at yourself and say, well, you know, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? What am I really doing to 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 match that value that I want out of this prize? You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, you know,
It's
is
like
this all this work I'm
what
putting
do
in,
you
is
want
it
to
worth it?
what do you want to give your life to? We
Right.
all got to make that choice on what's important enough for us to give our time, our focus, our sacrifices to. What's important enough to you.
Point of year. Right.
It's literally that simple. Like, and it's crazy that it took me that long to realize it. Like when I tell you I really just realized it, you know, like last month, like
Mm-hmm.
I have to sacrifice all the other things that I want to be good at, or all the other things that I might be okay at, or even, you know, good at, to go focus on the one thing that I'm great at.
Right.
That way, and that's a sacrifice in itself. Sacrificing
Mm-hmm.
your other skills is a sacrifice. People think that you have to interact with every single skill that you have. It's really not enough time in the day for you to be great at everything.
Right.
It don't even make sense to be great at everything, because then people are just gonna be asking you for everything. You're not gonna get nothing done. You
That's
just gotta
facts.
pick that one thing, bro. Because if you don't, you literally just gonna be bouncing, 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 and you're not gonna have no foundation. You're just gonna have a whole bunch of little small, you know, little roots in the ground. You ain't gonna have no trees.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You can't bear fruit without a tree. You feel me?
Right, bro. And he was also saying that knowing that whatever standard you have for other people or the value that you want them to have, now you gotta look at yourself and see if you have that same value or if you have that same standard.
That's the one too. That's the one, bro. I'm so glad you said that, because I had to look myself in the mirror, bro. And I was like, I have all this information. You know, we got access to all these books. We got access to courses, you know, mentors, all of this. But none of it really matters unless you literally give yourself that value first and really acting out that value and be valuable to somebody else.
Right.
How can you expect someone to just put you on to anything when you're not valuable in no aspect? You have no special expertise. You have no information or, you know, ability or skill that surpasses the average person. You just average at all up. You just know a lot of shit about a lot of stuff.
Right.
but you're not necessarily the go-to person for none of it.
Right.
But meanwhile, they got somebody over there that's the go-to person that I'm gonna just hit up because they the expert.
You know what they call that in our industry? Subject matter expert.
Right. They're the subject matter expert in the industry.
Exactly.
And they get paid at a different rate than just a regular employee that just gets told what to do.
Exactly. And that's why even with this I'm not trying to make this transition, right? Think about my position, right? I'm in quality. We have to deal with everything within the life cycle of the product. We have to know a lot of shit. Right? With the process, we have to know a lot of people, we have to know who to go to, we have to know requirements, all that stuff. But now I say that's kind of now when I know I am now trying to make a transition into a more technical role, because in a more technical role, I'm have a more focused role. And if I can focus on something, then I can be good at that. Right. And then eventually, with the knowledge that I gain in that one thing, now my values increase because I focused on this one thing and I'm a subject matter expert in this one thing. And then at that point, you can branch out and become a contractor or a consultant for that specific topic or that specific thing. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what it's really about, being able to have something that you can really focus on, so that way you can be the best at it, and now you're the go-to person for it. Now your value is increased.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not gonna say like don't try new shit, like, because life is so, you know, amazing and it's a blessing. You don't want to just, you know, short yourself of experiences. But as far as you trying to be financially secure or be of value to somebody else, you have to have something that you're great at. Like, you got to have something that when somebody look at you, they like, that's what he do, you know? And it's crazy that it took me this long to really realize it, because it's probably just known knowledge to a lot of people. But in this day and age, like, it's kind of like a misconception that you can really be the best at a whole bunch of stuff. Like, yeah, you can be, but you might not ever go to sleep. You might have a terrible family life. You might have a terrible relationship. You might have, people might really hate you because you don't really nurture your friendships. You feel me? Like, I want wealth in all aspects, relationally, spiritually, financially, you know, peace of mind. And how can I have peace of mind if my mind is shuffled up, jumbled up, because I'm trying to conquer the entire world? You feel me? I'm trying to do something that's not meant for me to do.
Right.
You feel me? I'm trying to be God. That's really what we're trying to do when we say we're doing that. When we jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing, we trying to be God.
That's his job, for real, to handle all that. But he gave us our unique gifts. He gave us our unique gifts, right? And once you realize, and that's just why it's okay, like you said, to go and try those things, right? It's okay to go try those things and do those things. But it's like you have to, at some point, right? You have to realize, okay, I can't be the best at everything. But what am I really good at? What am I really strong at? And also, what am I most interested in, most passionate about? You know, that it has to culminate all those different things, right? And then from there, then you go into that. And I think the biggest thing, right, is to not only, like, you can do different things, but you got to start with something first. And master that thing before you jump to the next.
Yeah.
And you have to decide what it is. You have to, because you can't do something simultaneously. And that's coming from, I feel like you've experienced it, I've experienced it. We tried that. and it don't really work, bro. Like it's
At all.
hard, bro. It's hard, bro.
It's stressful, bro.
It's stressful as well, and you're always sacrificing something.
That's why we here right now, bro. And that's why the theme of the year is focus action. So let's go ahead and go through these three goals. So the first one is spiritual. What's your spiritual goal? We're gonna use the SMART method. So give me something specific that you want to get accomplished spiritually.
Spiritually, I think like on the most simplest of levels, I really want to spiritually I just want to read my Bible every day. I feel like that's the most like the simplest I can get. Like just to let that come and like just to let those little actions of every day, even if it's just 10 minutes, I just read my Bible, whether it be in the morning or at night. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna add up, and I'm gonna grow spiritually because now I'm doing it every day. So I think that's the most specific and that's what I want to do spiritually. Just read my Bible every day. Or read my Bible for 10 minutes a day. Let's
Right.
be very specific.
Nice. I put meditate 20 minutes a day for me. So every day I need to meditate. It just centers me back to the world. So how would you measure yours? How would you measure that? Would you just, I guess, get a calendar, or would you do it in your notes?
As far as measuring
calendar? Yeah.
Measuring that like the 10 minutes a day and stuff like that goal. I think that has to come with what I've been doing with the tasks, like the Google tasks. I just set a recurring reminder. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Recurring reminder and an alarm. Read your Bible.
And you just mark it off like that.
And you just mark it up, and you just mark it off like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's a good way to track it. I'm gonna do mine the same way. And A for attainable, that's definitely attainable. R, so is it relevant? Yes, very relevant.
Yes. Very relevant.
T is for time. So I guess we'll reflect on it, I guess, every quarter. What you think?
Yeah. Well, I think when it comes to doing that, if it's an everyday thing, you can really reflect on it every month.
Right. Okay.
Like if it's something like simple like that, like for a few minutes a day or whatever, you can do that every month. How much did I do this every month?
Okay. All right. So on the economical, so this is more like outside of, personal finances, like outside of saving, outside of, your consistent, W-2 income. We want to really expand ourselves and stretch ourselves, I feel like we have the basics pretty much understood of how to save and, make money. Mm-hmm. But how can we make, extra money on the side or through business and things like that? So what would be your goal economically from that standpoint?
Economically, just seeing the numbers that I did within a few weeks with Dolo, I think I want to.
It could be. It don't have to be a monetary, goal. It could be like a certain amount of units or something like that too. So yeah, just in case if you don't feel comfortable, saying like how much you're trying to make.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm very comfortable with that because I mean that's just like really the goal.
Right.
Like, very simply, I think I want to. Now that's something I thought about actually. Like, what's an attainable goal that I want to use? And I think the platforms since I launched Dolo, I think I'm gonna use Dolo as that. I will make. Simply put, I'll make $500 a month through Dolo Apparel. That's the goal.
Which how, just to make it more specific, how would you want to make it? Like what? Like just through t-shirt sales or what?
Yeah, through t-shirts, through apparel sales, through the sales.
Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to think of what I want. So I will make $20,000 by the end of the year. I want to break it down monthly though. What's that? 15.
Oh, $20,000 a month?
No, not that much. I'm trying
Oh,
to
I'm
break
about
it
to
down
say.
into the
I mean, not a,
month.
I mean, not a month. I mean a year. That's what I mean.
And a year.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna still put it. So I'm gonna just put on under my measurable. I'll just do track. You know, you gotta make this much a month. So I want to make. Well, I will make $20,000 by the end of the year as a real estate agent. So really through selling real estate as an agent specifically, just outside of the investing part. Because I just finished the courses and I take my real estate exam on the 5th.
Oh, bet. Because I knew that was one of your goals you wanted to knock out too.
Hell yeah, bro. I finished that shit by the end of the year, but I still gotta take the test on the 5th. So I'm excited for that. Pass on the first try.
Oh yeah, you gonna have that, bro. That's gonna happen.
And then the way I'm gonna measure it, every month it's gotta make $1,600. So that'll be like one deal a month. Which is doable.
Yeah.
That work. How you gonna measure yours?
I think I measure it since I already set up. You're making it. I want to do it per month. I'll just measure it weekly, and then Shopify already has all the stuff where you can basically all the metrics that you can see about the measure of your sales and stuff like that. So I'm gonna measure it through Shopify.
Is it attainable? Yes. Is it relevant? Yes. As far as time, it'll take a year.
It says a smart method, right? What's the R stand for?
Relevant.
Oh, relevant. That's what it was. Okay. I know.
And then for time, we're gonna put. Yeah, it should. It'll probably take a year. First year I ain't gonna just act like I'm about to make $1 million. I still gotta
bro.
grow my connections, like get out there, stuff like that.
And that's why, that's kind of why I put that goal, just based on what I did within a couple of weeks. Once I launched it, I think once I really push it and really go hand with it, I think I can really do it, and it's still doable, and it's not nothing crazy, because that's something that can knock out bills right there. That could knock out phone bills, whatever. So it's not like it's just like something super minuscule that it's not gonna factor into anything. And then at the end of the day, I still have my job. So, that's going to only help. So just being very, very realistic about the goals. That's a big thing. You got to be realistic about your goals that you want to set. Because then people don't factor in like other things in life, like your time. Like it's not just this one thing that you focus on, especially when you have a job, you have a relationship, you have family, you know what I'm saying? You have other things that may come up which are unexpected. You don't know when that stuff gonna come up. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly. Yeah. So on the personal. So this is something that has to do with our growth. So this can be mentor, studying, learning, reading, things of that nature, things that are going to expand us, on a deeper level to help us execute better, or like help us with guidance or clarity. not something necessarily that's going to, I guess, deter you from what your economical goal is, but something that's going to help you expand it, you know, in some sort. Which is kind of hard to measure, but you know, something that we can do consistently.
Something that we can do consistently. I think one thing personally that I realized that I personally haven't even done well, that I want to do better at, is finish a book. Like I start these books and I don't finish them. Like I'll read well into them, but I don't finish them, bro. So I think my goal is to finish one book every 2 months.
That's a good goal, bro.
I think
that's a solid goal.
That's a good one.
That's definitely doable.
I feel like it's very doable as well. Like just thinking about if you read 10 pages a day for 30 days, that's 300 pages. That's mostly a book. But then, you know, sometimes, like I said, you got to factor in time and other different things that come up where, like when you're somebody like me that has multiple things going on, you got to factor in that you got to have that cushion and that time to really like give yourself an attainable goal. Because if you set yourself for like a month, right, and then a week passed, now you a whole 7 days down. You know what I'm saying? And you can go, you may go a whole week without reading that book. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to read. I'm gonna do one real estate related book a month.
I guess I should throw in the type of book too. That'd be very specific as well.
That's just because sometimes I read a book or like start reading a book and like something happen in life like that'll make me not want to read that book no more, or like make me want to read a different book. So it's like I want to read a certain, like just only have these certain types of books. That way it's not like, oh, let me go read this since this just happened, or I'm interested in this now. Like, let me go read this.
Right.
That way it kind of keeps my brain focused on what's at hand, you know, kind of doubling down on what's important. Because it's so hard to stay focused on like what your skill is if you constantly reading about other types of skills, you know. It kind of make you automatically attracted to them, you know.
I heard something, boy. Like, what is that?
Crazy, boy.
I'm like, hold up.
You funny, man. But nah, bro, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's why I was like, that's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I just read one book. Was like, what type of book you want to read? Because there's billions of books out there. Right. So I think I'm more on the focused on like personal development. I think
like what type
I think
of
it's more so like emotional intelligence. I think.
Okay,
that's I feel hard. Like yes, I think emotional intelligence. I think emotional intelligence is like the one thing that I personally need to work on. You know what I'm saying? Because I realize, and there's just this year showing me like there's a lot of things and a lot of like the things that I do, they're rooted in something else subconsciously that I don't know that I didn't know that I'm like either like not facing like what's in front of me or I haven't dealt with yet. You know what I'm saying? Or just being able to know how other people's energies have affected yours, whether it be in your family, whether it be your friends. Like that's something I really like. I just came and I realized like within this past week or these past couple weeks, basically. Like I realized there's a lot of things that have happened in my past that really affect some things that I've done that have done in the present. Well, back then was the present, right? I'm talking about way back in the past, like childhood, right? Because a lot of things we deal with, like traumas and things like that, childhood traumas.
That stuff matter, bro.
The ways our parents act, like a lot of that energy is placed on us, and we don't even really know it for real until really sometimes some people still don't realize, or it's too late at that point. You know what I'm saying?
That's really facts, man. Like that could be like the first thing that block you from all your blessings, you know. Just dealing with past stuff that's hard to deal with and get through. It's like hitting a roadblock for real. Because you can't even think straight whenever you're going through all this stuff.
So I think that either that, like I want to like I think since it's every 2 months, I think I'll probably switch it up. It'll be like an emotional a book on personal development, focusing like emotional intelligence, and as well as finance, like a financial book, like personal finance. Like how do I use what I have, my resources now, to help myself set myself up to gain wealth later on down the line. You know. So
I like it. So in order for me to measure it, I'm gonna put reflect on the readings weekly in my journal. So I'm gonna take the pages that I read that week and kind of just do like a little journal on it, or write it in my notes. And I can even turn it into like a blog post or something like that.
Right.
That way you kind of repurposing the things that you are doing on a daily basis.
Right.
So definitely document it every week, like just the weekly things I've been taking in.
I like that idea though. I'm gonna do the same thing. I just look at it and write it down weekly.
I'm about to be over there. Urban Bay? I'm about to be over
there. Yeah. That's dope, bro. Those are some real attainable goals, bro. And it's just that simple. Like these are goals that you can really do and really knock out for the year. And then you'll be able to look back on them and be like, dang, I really did a whole lot within this past year.
Right, because like these are things that actually move the needle. Like all the goals support each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I look back at it, yeah.
Like the problem I had last year, I was making so many goals and they were pulling away from each other. They were counteracting.
Yeah, even when we were making our goals on a weekly basis, I realized like we would write so many goals out, but they were all like scattered all over the place. Right. You feel what I'm saying? As far as what we were writing down, so at least for me, I don't speak on you, but at least for me.
No, definitely. I can relate. It was the same. That's why I feel like just taking that step back this last few weeks was just important. My mental health, my mental clarity, Like I really ain't been talking to nobody for a little minute, for real.
That's okay, bro.
Not forcing nothing. Just feeling everything out.
Right.
I mean, you feeling I felt like I could feel what's important to me,
Mm-hmm.
Like I ain't even been on like social media like that for real. I've been chilling. I ain't been listening to a whole bunch of shit. Probably because I've been working so fucking much.
Probably. That's probably something else too.
That's probably what it is, because I really ain't been having time to do shit. So it's just I'm realizing what's important to me.
Yeah, but I said that's why it's even more important. If you know your time is already limited, You gotta focus on the things that's important, and you have to take that time for yourself. To realize what's important to you, so that way you never losing sight, or even when you do lose sight, if you haven't written down, or if you know that's in the back of your mind, you know what to go always feed back to, or what always to go concentrate that focus back on. But if you don't know that at all, you don't take that time to reflect on yourself, you'll always be lost. You'll never know what you're trying to go towards. You never know what you're trying to get to.
Right.
So,
But yeah, bro. I think
I
this
think
is
it's
great.
good, bro. This is a great exercise, and I suggest everybody do something like this. Like 3 goals. Like I like that 3 goals: spiritual, economic, and personal. Because all of this, eventually, when you look back at what you write down, they're gonna tie into each other. They have to. Like that's just the
Yep.
law of the land. That's just like the law. That's just the law. That's just the laws, bro. Like the laws of the universe. That's how it work out.
And it
That's
just
why we
calms
start
you,
off with
calms you
spiritual
down.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It
why I start
calms
off
you
with
down.
spiritual though. That's where it started at. So
Oh yeah, it all starts in the spirit. That's the most important part. Focusing your energy, focusing your mind, so you can focus your action for the year. You feel me? Get that focused action.
right. Thanks. Yeah, man. But you excited for the holidays, bro? I know you about to go on vacation or something.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited. It's a love hate relationship with the holidays. You did,
Yeah.
Because
How long you gonna be gone?
we really celebrating BS, but but it is good to see your family.
Oh yeah, that's the only reason I like the holiday, because I get to go see my
Right.
family for real. That seems like the only reason why, your job actually give you time off. Because if it weren't for the holidays,
Right.
they wouldn't
Every
try to
day
give
will
you
be
that time
regular.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I'm thankful for him. So
Yeah, bro. How long you gonna be gone?
I'll probably be back around the 22nd. How you gonna be in town?
Yeah, I'll be in town the 18th. Me and Kara flying on the 18th.
And then when you
And then
leave?
I'll be in the South like till the 10th. I mean, till like not the 10th, probably
The
till like the
South or
6th.
New Orleans?
I'll be in New Orleans probably till I say the 20th or the 29th.
Oh, you ain't trying to spend New Year's in this, man.
Oh no, because one of my homeboys, he lives out here. He one of the other guys I volunteer with too. We didn't got real cool. So him and his wife gonna be in Atlanta, because that's where his parents at. But they getting
So
Airbnb.
you gonna be in the A?
All that good. I'm being the A. Yeah, I'm
Of course.
planning on being the A.
The A gonna be lit.
Yeah, so
I was thinking about hitting the A for New Year's. I was thinking about it.
I mean, if you do, bro, just let me know. I'll be out that way, bro. Cause I'm gonna be out that way, bro.
I can pull up on y'all.
Yeah.
It's up.
Pull up on us, bro. And I just
up.
let my homeboy know, and then cause it's always good vibes, cool people, so it's always good vibes. So,
Say less.
It's gonna be a good
We're
time.
gonna see what happens. I might end up out there. We're gonna see.
Yeah, just let me know.
Trying to go to the A? New Year's. Nah, she ain't trying to go. She's scared.
She ain't trying to go to the A for New Year.
You got plans? We already got plans.
Oh, okay. Bet.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But I'm gonna catch you, bro. It was a good pod, man.
Oh yeah,
Appreciate you hopping on, bro. Getting these goals straight. We got greatness inside us. We just gotta focus it and channel it and trust ourselves, trust our own thoughts, our own gut.
Be facts, man. It's always love though. Never far, dog. Never far,
love you, bro.
Love you too, dog. You be safe. You be good. And I'm gonna see when I get back in the city. I'll let you know when I'm in the city and everything. Maybe we can do a little slight pod or something when I get back.
Oh yeah, let's run that.
You know what I'm saying? Something in person.
It could be something quick,
Yeah,
we can even do
person.
something kind of like a little creative. Maybe get like a little videographer, and they just kind of walk around. We just have a conversation about, they kind of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like something like that. But yeah,
we'll think of something. We'll get it.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. All right, y'all. Peace, man.
All right, be good. I forgot we was recording.